Hello Wargamers, it's me Callum from TableTopBanter, and we have a very different kind of video today. This thing you're looking at right now is a picture of Vassal software, which basically allows you to play Warhammer 40k online using counters. There's a whole D6 system on there, it's absolutely fantastic. Google it and you'll know more. But the main reason we've got it up right now is because Harry and I played a game where we tested out the Skyhammer assault formation that the Space Marines can use against the standard 1,000 point Necron list that I'd written up. So really we were testing the Skyhammer to see what it could do, to see what the advantages and disadvantages were. And we're going to just take you through each turn of the game, as you can see from these screenshots. And I actually got Harry with me here on Skype. So we're going to start with him who deployed first. He deployed first.
Yeah.
He's going to take you through his deployment.
Yeah, so it was quite a simple deployment because we're playing 1,000 points. I mean, I didn't really actually have that much on the board, so I just tried to squeeze some scouts there. We've got camouflage sniper rifles up in those ruins next to objective number 5. Space Marines doing the same thing. The librarian actually ended up going in a rhino, and then there was another 5-man squad in that rhino with a plasma gun. And that was pretty much it. So then in reserves, I had the Skyhammer, or is it Skyhammer Annihilation? That's what we're doing?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And in that, I had a whopping 2 10-man assault squads with power swords, go big or go home. And then 2 Devastate squads, one with multi-melters, one with heavy bolters. Interesting choice, but I was a bit low on points, and I thought I might be able to do something with that. But that was pretty much it. So
yeah,
it.
Cool. So we're playing the Eternal War mission, Big Guns Never Tire, and that means you need to be on objectives at the end. So I saw that Harry had put himself on the objectives first. I actually won the roll off and chose to go second. And my counter deployment was such that I put my Lich Guard with Overlord and Cryptek right there by the circular line of sight blocking terrain on the top half, thinking that would goad him in a bit with his drop pod assault. You can see I've popped my Immortals, my 5 Immortals over there in the top right hand corner of my deployment, so top left, sorry. And the idea is they're in cover, ready to move through cover to get to a marker number 2 towards the end of the game. And I put the Ghost Ark down by marker 3 because I was hoping that the contents of that vehicle and the vehicle itself would be able to react to any drop pods that came down, and hopefully wipe out the heavy support slots, well, heavy support units in Harry's army, knowing that they wouldn't charge. So that was really my counter deployment. In reserve, I had an empty Night Scythe and 5 death marks. So that was really my plan with that. It was a very much counter deployment style, go for the late objectives and see what would happen. So I'm just going to move the slide on now to turn 1 for the Space Marines, and Harry's going to talk you through what happened in his turn.
Yeah, so it all got a bit messy, really, didn't it? I thought, Skyhammer, it does what it does and it says on the tin. Let's just smack it in the back there. So I did. I got some pretty good results. My drop pod, I think the topmost drop pod there, which actually got a Deathwind launcher. That one was a direct hit, and the other one went off a little bit, which was a bit annoying because it sort of put it out in the open next to the your big shooty transport thing.
Ghost Ark.
Ghost Ark, that's what it's called. I didn't like that. Not one bit.
No.
So I left the heavy support choices, which just jumped out of there. Left those multi-melters a bit out in the open. So what happened there? I mean, movement phase, then the other things I did is I moved those tactical marines around objective 4 a little bit. They got a bit more in range. And I moved the rhino down. Deep striking my assault marines in. One of them sort of mishaps. You can see the leftmost assault marines, they didn't do so well. And there was some trees. I think I lost a couple, didn't I? No, I didn't lose any.
No, you made all of it. You didn't fail a single dangerous rain.
No, I don't take a few saves, but power armor did alright. And then because of the whole Skyhammer special rules, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with, but basically there's a whole load of crazy rules. First of all, heavy support, when they jump out, they're relentless, so they can shoot. Or on the turn that they jump out of drop pods, which is pretty awesome.
Pretty intense.
And the assault squads can charge. but the whole big thing is the coherency behind it. So any squads that are targeted by the Devastators...
And that's
from the
targeted.
start,
That's not causing a wound.
Yeah, just targeted. Whether you make a wound or not, it doesn't matter at all. And then you need to take a Legion test on a 3d6. And if they fail that, then they go to ground. So, that's a big bummer. But then the amazing thing is then that means that the Assault Marines can reroll all to hit and to wound in close combat.
So it takes something that's kind of on its own a fantastic thing, having a unit pinned, and it just adds another thing to it.
Yeah, and you got 2 more drop pods coming in turn 1, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, 2 drop pods. Yeah, it is pretty. I have to say, the formation itself is very, very strong.
Yeah, as you can see here, I mean, there's a few. I mean, I knocked out a few of
Lich Guard.
Lich Guard, that was it. I knocked out a few of those just from sheer weight of attacks, really. The Sergeant Power Sword went down with a challenge to go overboard.
Yeah, that was a little unsuccessful. I think it's because the Lich Guard are very, very resilient and very strong. That's where I think had the group on the left made the charge as well, we could be looking at a different board right now. But it was a 10-inch charge, so...
Exactly. I mean, I was hoping that they wouldn't have missed out so far if they got in, because of course you hadn't dropped your Resurrection Orb then. So
yeah, exactly. I dropped that the next turn, so...
This was the easiest turn to kill them because I had the most amount of firepower on the board.
And I had no way of countering that as such.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did kill one with multi-melters, didn't I?
Yeah, that's right. So I ended up losing 2 Lich Guard this turn. One from a bolt pistol as well.
Yeah, you lost 3 Lich Guard there. There was a squad of 5, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was one in the assault.
3.
I lost 1 in the assault, 1 to a bolt pistol, and 1 to a melter.
You lost 1 to the Deathwind, didn't you? The Deathwind launcher.
I don't think.
1 in assault.
Did it? No, then it was.
Yeah, that was the best 15 points I definitely launched it there.
Yeah, that's true.
That was about that. They all focused everything on that, and of course, 3 wounds, which was
anticlimactic.
Which is pretty impressive. Other things that happened, not much really. I shot my scout snipers or my tactical mates at the Immortals up there, and I managed to kill one of those. But other than that, I mean, the only other thing is your what are guys called in the bottom right hand corner with that special rule.
Oh, the death marks. That's right. Yeah.
The death marks, they have that. They
It's like entropic strike or something.
Yeah, that's the one. So whenever I deep strike something, you basically deep strike in and you can get a free shooting attack in that. It means you can't shoot the next turn.
But I mishapped.
I was a bit scared about that, but you mishapped, and I placed it in the bottom right hand corner of the board, so they didn't really do much, and that was my turn. Tottenham was still locked in combat.
That's right, yeah, so we're going to nip into the Necron turn 1. And as you can see here, things changed slightly. The Lich Guard, very resilient, obviously. So they dealt with what they needed to in combat, both Assault Marine squads failing leadership and falling back, but getting away, of course. Now, on the right-hand side, you can see I've moved the death marks up and I ran them because they were useless, pretty much. But the Ghost Arc, now this is the thing, I never realised how big salvo weapons are on vehicles, because it means that vehicles are relentless, so they shoot full range, full salvo. So I got essentially 30 shots in on that close-in unit, with which 2 are left. But I did do quite bad rolling to wounds, so it wasn't all bad. And then I got 10 shots in on the unit at the back. So really, I think the Ghost Arc was pretty much the star of the show here.
I mean, you probably should have wiped out that multi-mounted squadron.
Oh, definitely. No doubt. And the Tesla did its job in terms of causing wounds, but you did make all your saves. So a really simple turn for Necrons. I have found out with this list throughout the game, actually. It was move and shoot, and then the Lord does something in close combat. That's all I really had going for me. So my turn
annihilated stuff, and then.
Oh yeah, I mean in combat, there's nothing like a Lord with a 2-up save and then a 4-up reanimate from the Cryptek, and he's got himself like a 4-up invulnerable save anyway. But that doesn't matter because the Lich Guard are first to go with a 3-up, so it's a nasty unit to have to deal with. And I thought that's why I put them where I did, goad him in a bit, and obviously it did work, getting a lot of attention. But obviously it was also to my detriment losing a few as well, so But that was really it for my turn. Just took out a couple of Assault Marines, made them run, and had the Ghost Ark come around and kill a few things, you know? So we're going to go into, obviously, Space Marine turn 2 now. Okay, Space Marines turn 2 then?
Yeah, I'm moving my Rhino about, jump the guys out to try and grab that objective 3. It was a bit early, maybe a bit too early. But never mind, they were there, my Librarian was there. I managed to... So now that turn I didn't really get anything off. What power did he have? He had that useless one, didn't he?
Oh yeah, Scryer's Gaze and Prescience.
Scryer's Gaze, that was very useful. Prescience was alright, but other than that, I mean, it was quite nice that my Assault Marines jumped out of combat last turn, because it meant that I could...
Charge again.
I could charge again, get some Hammer of Wrath in there, and I think I actually... I killed something.
You killed a Lich Guard with Hammer of Wrath, and I cried.
And it also meant that I could, yet again, target that squad with the Devastators. So, definitely useful having a sort of a hit-and-run feature in there. So they jumped in again. They cleared up the rest of the Lich Guard and got the Cryptek down to 1 wound.
Yeah, so Cryptek limping on a wound, and then Overlord like carrying him along, essentially.
Yeah. I remember I tried to put the multi-melter into your Ghost Ark, because I suddenly realised how much of a big deal that thing was. I mean, I kind of ignored it.
And it failed.
Yeah, and it failed. But the heavy bolters still targeted them. I knocked out another one of the Immortals in the top there. But other than that, there wasn't really much going on. At this point, I realised I was getting a bit bogged down. Because unfortunately, who knows, both the Assault Marine squads stuck in combat.
Yeah. That did make a difference, obviously, because, well, the theory being, of course, the same thing could have happened if you'd run away this in my ensuing turn, then you'd get the charge off again. But obviously, we're going to go on to my turn now and have a look at what happened. And we were just stuck again, really, not a lot going on. So the Ghost Ark moved up on the right-hand side, wiped out a heavy support unit. So at this point in the game, I believe you got first blood from killing my Lich Guard unit. And I had now got a point from killing a heavy support unit.
Yes.
Which was, obviously good for me. And I fired up into the heavy bolters over there on the top and caused a couple of wounds as well, which was all good. In combat, I believe we drew again because my Overlord whiffed a couple of hit rolls.
Yeah,
the Cryptek had survived. But luckily I killed your Sergeant in your turn.
You killed a few Marines, but I got like a 1 and 2.
Oh, that's right, yeah. But the big one was I killed your Sergeant, so I wasn't in a challenge anymore.
Exactly.
Which means I could look out Sir from the Cryptek.
Yeah, exactly. So
and that was big.
Yeah, I could quickly see the Assault Marine is great for that first turn, but they don't really have much punch to them with just bolt pistol.
And especially when I'm T5.
Especially on the toughness 5, that made a massive difference.
Wounding on 5s is very different to wounding on 4s.
Yeah, especially with that weight of attacks.
Exactly. Now everything else in my army did sod all, to be quite frank, but the Lord and the Cryptek working as a unit is pretty good. So I feel like I used that to my advantage quite well.
Yeah.
We'll roll into your turn 3 next.
Yeah, so as you can see, it starts to go a bit downhill from here, really. Movement phase, I'm not sure what I did. I think I messed around my Rhino and those guys a little bit, just to get my plasma gun in range of the Immortals.
That's right, yeah.
A bit of shooting went on from the Scouts and the Tactical Marines, which quite frankly have been useless the whole game.
They did wipe out the Immortals, though.
It did finally get those Immortals, which I was quite happy about. I started running my heavy bolter unit away because I realised they couldn't really do much more because my Assault Marines were locked in combat. They're probably going to die this next turn, so nothing's going to be assaulting them. So just run away because if they die, it's not going to leave victory point on. But Assault did not go so well.
No, I think the big thing was the Necron Overlord actually took out 3 Marines from the squad on the left, and the Cryptek got his first kill of the game as well.
Yeah, so
I think the big thing with that is, you lost by 4 wounds.
Yeah.
So after failing leadership on both squads, I did catch the squad on the left of 1 man, and didn't catch the squad on the right. Now, in some arguments, had both run away, I could have gotten a bit more movement off, but I preferred this because what it gave me was a definite target for the Overlord and a definite target for other things in my army that could then shoot into the Assault Marines. So I actually thought this made my choices a lot simpler, a lot easier to make. But having that Overlord chew through 3 guys in combat was pretty good.
Yeah, so that was about it, really, honestly.
Yeah, the Assault Feud didn't go so well there.
The end of the Skyhammer was upon us. So,
yeah, I'll
your
just
turn.
roll into my turn 3. And as you can see, obviously the Overlord did take out the last Assault Marine. The Ghost Ark took out the remaining Jump Pack guys. And then the Death Marks in the bottom right-hand corner took out 2 Space Marines, which was all good as well. Of course, the left, I don't know what you call it, left side of the Ghost Ark fired into the Space Marines as well. Took a guy out. And the right side... And took a wound off your Librarian, yeah. And the right...
He wasn't in front, wasn't he?
Oh no, that was from the Perils he got the wound.
Oh yeah, of course. Complete Prussians.
Yeah. But the right side killed off the Assault Marines, so a very productive turn for the Necrons. Obviously, at this point, you're looking at the board, looking like there's not a lot left. Well, the Flyer came on, targeted the Scouts, got them to go to ground, which was quite helpful. But the main thing that happened there was really like... Okay, so it doesn't look like I have a lot. I've got 5 Death Marks, a Ghost Ark, a couple of characters, and a Flyer. But you've got to remember there are 10 warriors in that Ghost Ark still. And I think that's the big deceptive thing about using transports.
Oh yeah, because
you just forget it's in there.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, we kept playing, because of course, I'm still holding objective 5.
Well, you've got 3 objectives there.
So if I could survive turn 4, might not continue, still a chance.
Yeah, there was still a chance at the end of the day, but things were looking good for the Necrons at the moment.
Yeah, well, the next turn, we just stuck it in 1, because I didn't do anything, did I?
No.
I did absolutely nothing. I shot everything I could.
Yeah, I'll roll on to that now, actually.
I had no anti-tank left, because I spent all my points on the Skyhammer formation, because I was like, we're testing out Skyhammer formation, I've got to put everything in the Skyhammer. It's fantastic turn 1, I was absolutely loving it, and then I realised I had nothing else within my army, so...
Yeah, well, basically, in turn 4, what you can see happened here was, all in all, bad things. I actually believe this was the turn that you set off your Deathwind missile launcher. It scattered off my unit and killed your own
yes,
heavy bolter.
Yeah, that was the worst 15 points I ever paid for Deathwind missile launcher.
Yeah, I definitely said the best earlier, but...
oh, no. Yeah.
That was so bad. My Flyer came round and popped the Rhino with 4 penetrating hits, which was ridiculous. And then the Ghost Ark obviously annihilated the unit there. A lot of bad things basically happened.
Basically, this game made me hate Tesla.
I love it. I don't know what you mean. It's just
I just didn't even realise.
No, it's very strong. If you can get the luck of the 6s, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I caused 4 penetrating hits off of 4 shots. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because I got the extra hits, and it made a big difference. But here you can see things are starting to look bad for the Space Marines. Obviously, you've still got the 2 objectives.
Yeah.
4 and 5, but it's not looking strong.
4 and 5, and I realised that actually I could still win it.
Yeah, we did.
If I survived this.
Yeah, we did go on to the next turn, and that's left. 2 scouts left and a couple of drop pods.
Yeah.
So, you didn't really do anything to me on my turn.
Oh, I did nothing.
Absolutely nothing. My Ghost Ark moved up and just pillaged that unit of Space Marines. Just there was nothing left. And I moved my other things up ready to grab objectives, but at this point we realised the game was actually over, as you couldn't hold enough objectives to beat me. So I did end up winning, I think it was 9-7. I think it was a lot closer than we thought, maybe 9-6.
Yeah.
But fairly one-sided nonetheless. So obviously you've seen how this game's unfolded, and we're just going to do a quick summary. Okay, so in summary, really, we're looking at the Skyhammer formation. That was the point of this video. So Harry, what are your initial thoughts on that?
Okay, Skyhammer Annihilation Force. I love it, but I just used it so badly. I've been talking about it a lot. I mean, the first big issue for me, which really struck me turn 2, was that I thought heavy support, relentless, come out with drop pods. Going to have Prav cannons, going to have plasma cannons. I didn't have quite enough points for that because I built this list up full. But I thought that's fantastic. They jump out, bam, they're going to be shooting. What I did here is I did that, but in the enemy's deployment zone. So obviously there's two ways we thought we could really solve that. I mean, you could stick the drop pods midfield or even in your own deployment zone, because effectively at the end of the day you've got a pinning.
Exactly. You auto-pin something, effectively.
You auto-pin something, so you can have the assault marines deep strike in their deployment zone, but as long as you have the guys in range, you're still doing the same thing.
They were too vulnerable.
Yeah, but the alternative strategy is you could just stick them down
with just bolt guns.
You could even have them as 2 squads of 10 combat squadron, and
exactly.
You can do pinning.
And that was the one I thought of, and that was the one I think would work really well, because that you can move them and you can assault them still. They've got their bolt pistols.
Yeah, exactly. Once you've got those heavy weapons down, you don't move them.
Think of the points as well. Like, exactly. I'm not... But multi-multis of what, 15 points?
10 points, multi-multis, 10 points.
So that's an extra 40 points on one squad.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And if you're just using them to pin, you might as well keep them as tactical marines with bolters, effectively.
Exactly, and have some devastators in the back.
Exactly. Okay, they're not scoring units, so that is the only downside to that. But at the end of the day, they're causing a 3d6 leadership test on someone to get them pinned, and that is really difficult to pass unless you're fearless, obviously.
Yeah. I think for the assault marine side, I think I played that pretty well. I mean, at this size points, I should have taken 5-man squads and had them. I probably should have had one squad hunt after the Immortals, one squad hunt maybe hunt after the Ghost Arps and Melter Bombs and Eviscerator or something like that.
I think I did like the 10-man squads.
I mean, it's devastating, but it's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points, and it's
a lot of stuff in one space.
Assault Marines might be like quick moving, and they can dish out attacks on smaller squads. I still think they struggle against tougher squads.
Exactly. Well, they've got no power weapons or anything. Maybe the sergeant something. I mean, if they have Vanguard, that'd be amazing. But
yeah, I do think that is the problem. They don't pack enough potency in the unit themselves. Unless you go, give him a power fist and everything. But at the end of the day, he was in a challenge with a Necron Overlord twice, and he wouldn't have even got to swing. So
yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of different ways. I mean, I think every way that's different to use it and how I used it is the best. Yeah. I was thinking also, you don't have to put it in turn 1, do you?
No.
Turn 2 opens up a lot of things. You stick your drop pods in turn 2.
The only problem I have with turn 2 is it is a lot of points to Skyhammer Annihilation Force, and that's a lot of points not on the board for turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that, but I just think, you can. There's a lot more sort of tactical flexibility to turn 2 in terms of sticking in the deployment zone.
Very true. The game has started to open up at that point, and you can see what could happen. It's more reactive than proactive, but I do prefer that kind of thought process for those kind of things sometimes.
Yeah.
But on the whole, the rules that come with that formation are undoubtedly unbelievably good.
Fantastic. I mean, I loved it. I mean, the only thing I would change as well, completely free change, and it's probably, unless you want your Devastators attacking tanks, I mean, I'm happy Crimson Fists, Tactics here, which gives them Tank Hunter and something like that. Oh no, Tank Hunter and Monster Hunter, I think Devastator squads, and you can reroll ones which are up at heavy bolters. But I mean, take White Scars, because then you've got hit and run on your assault marines, so you can jump out on combat.
Very true.
Target them again. I mean, here I was relying on losing combats, which, when you think about it, probably isn't the best thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, I wish I lost that combat. Isn't really the thing you should be saying.
No, I agree there. But, like I said, the rules are good, and for the first time playing it, it wasn't that bad. Now, as for the Necron list, I just tried to build a 1,000 point list that I would take, maybe not to a tournament, but if I was just going to try and play a competitive-ish game, that could just take on any army. So this wasn't tailor-built to the Skyhammer Annihilation Force, because I think if I was going to do that, I would just be running an army of death marks.
Yeah, you just have loads of death marks.
But I think 5 is not unacceptable for a standard list. So for things I noticed with the Necrons, they are good. They are so resilient. Those Lich Guard took so many hits. And I think because I had the blob there on the board, it did force you to have to deal with them.
Yeah, it was it was tough going. I wouldn't have minded something like Imperial Guard that I could just like chainsaw through, or cultists, but
No, the T5 3 up 4 up is pretty bad.
I needed some power for some strength 6, strength 7. You know, a few more plasma guns, a few more devastators in the back, maybe a vindicator.
Something like that would have been good.
I'd have taken smaller assaultment squads. Probably not given heavy weapons to the devastators, or I might have given them heavy weapons and sat in midfield, grab guns or something. Taken a vindicator or something. And,
Do you know, honestly, I wouldn't have gone with 2 tactical squads. I probably would have gone with 2 scout squads.
yeah, and sniper rifles. Sniper rifles are awful.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm used to playing the back in 4th and 5th. They could, you know, on a 6,
You've still rendered tanks.
You could hit tanks and things. It was beautiful, but
Not
I
now.
don't think I caused. I don't think I killed anything with them.
You could one in the first turn.
Did I? Maybe.
Yeah, 1 immortal.
Yeah, I mean, the camera cloaks was always nice because, I mean, I went to ground, you know.
Got a 2 up cover save.
And got a 2 up cover save, and that's always quite nice.
Yeah. So, really, all in all, it is a good formation. It's just the way you've got to bring it. It might not be the way that people initially thought, I think.
No, and I think for 1,000-point games, it's
almost too pointy. Yeah,
a
bit too expensive.
If you're taking the bare minimum, you know, just 2 squads of 5 and 2 assault marines, then you're thinking, you know, that's 2 5-man squads, which aren't really doing much, and I wish they'd hold objectives. So
yeah,
you've got to think about that.
Very true. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. We know this has been a long one. It is something we're looking to try and do a bit more, because obviously we're both at different universities, but it gives us a chance to play the game and have a real good look at some units that we don't necessarily want to buy and have in our collections, but want to find a bit more about. Either way. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below, and go check out the blog, because Harry has been doing some wonderful stuff on the blog lately.
I have. Read the blog.
Yes, read the blog.
It's good stuff.
It's great stuff. It's great stuff.
It's better than YouTube.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. And I will see you later. It's been me, Callum, and Harry from TableTopBanter. Don't forget, have fun.